Let's see. Going into the spring. For the spring divider page, we talked about all of you guys taking pictures of your phone, like amongst your bed or your workspace or whatever. I am going to take that picture we used in on the cover of the Bearcat. I'm going to Photoshop a mask onto there. So I will send that photo to you guys so you can use that as the backdrop or the screen on your phone when you take that picture. So I'll try to get that done in the next couple of days and send that to you. These 3 pages after that, I have just COVID-19. Johnson's put together a couple of pages that are like more news type article about the coronavirus and all this stuff and the closing of the schools and things. So I'm probably just going to use what they have. I need to look at it a little bit more closely. If not, I will rearrange it and I'll take care of those pages. From there is the work from home page. So my thoughts on that, and just because, like, okay, so you guys know that you're assigned to certain pages, but if you collect information or if you have ideas for any of the pages that you're not assigned to, please, please, please help each other out and, talk about this together about what would make sense, or if you collect something, pass it on. So my thought on this, and you guys can read this on the handout, what does your workstation look like? Questions and polls about what's positive and what's negative about working at home. What's been the hardest? Maybe what subject is the hardest? What subject is the easiest? I thought about doing something like your sleep habits. We talked about that, about how some of you guys like stay up all night and then sleep most of the day. So that would be something that could fit in there. Maybe something with what do you miss the most about school? So this is just a specific page about working at home and the good and the bad about that. So in terms of pictures there, my thought was to try to get pictures of kids with their workspaces. So whether it's somebody sitting at their laptop, taking a picture or whatever, that's something that we'll post on social media and hopefully get some response about. But if you guys want to ask friends and stuff to get pictures for that, that would be good. The next page is fashion and trends. So that one, we were talking about clothes that you're wearing, and this is specific to being at home. So this isn't overall throughout the year fashion and trends. This is right now. So during our last meeting, we talked about wearing pajamas or sweatpants, or girls, you can wear leggings at home. We talked about people getting their hair cut or cutting their hair themselves, I should say. So I also thought maybe to add to that, if there's anybody that really needs a haircut, specifically boys who normally have really short hair, they haven't been able to get their hair cut. Do they look really weird now because it's long? I don't know if this would apply or not, but I thought maybe if there's boys that aren't shaving because they're home and somebody's growing this beard or has a mustache or something, that might be kind of funny to try to include in there too. So I'm up to whatever other ideas you guys want to have in that. If there's other trends you want to include, you guys mentioned something about people painting, or maybe you're doing work outside with your parents, or I don't know. I mean, it's kind of up to you guys. You guys know probably better than I do what people are doing or what's like a trend. So Jillian's assigned to this page, but if any of you guys have ideas, please share them with her. After that is our sports pages. So I decided to bring these down to 1 page instead of 2. I don't really think we have 2 pages worth of stuff for each one of these. So my thought on the sports is to have the seniors spotlighted. Mr. Zerby said that we can use any of that stuff that he's been posting. So I will get that from him. So we have quality images, and I will upload those for you, the senior things that he's posted so far. So you can include the information about those seniors, how long they've been playing and if they are going to school for it or what they were looking forward to. I forget exactly what has been highlighted there, but definitely a senior spotlight of some kind. And then we want to include maybe a list of the kids that are on the team or were planning to be on the team. I think he said he could give me that, like who had been at practices so far. So he's going to send me that. Something that you guys could look for, and all of you can think about this if you know somebody on one of these teams. Are there any pictures of people that are still working out at home? Is anybody caring to still do that, or are people just screw it because the season's over? I'm sure that there are people who are still making an effort to work out from home. So if we could get some pictures of that, that would be great. It would be good to have some kind of story for each one, just a paragraph like we normally would, explaining maybe what the team was looking forward to, or if they were really excited about the seniors that were on the team, or maybe they had some underclassmen who were talented and were looking forward to that, or whatever. So it's going to depend on the sport, what you do. So Nalea, there's a side for boys and girls. If you want to combine it and all be tracked, that's fine. If you think it all would fit on one page, you don't need to, let me know, and I'll reallocate that other page to something else. So if you guys, again, have questions about sports, just send me a message. Next is our prom. So Tori, you are assigned to that. I've gotten quite a few prom pictures. I expect some more after this weekend and the next weekend. People still doing that. So we will, I'll just keep adding to what we've got, so you can maybe create a layout of what you want to do for that, and we can add those pictures in. So some things I thought about for that, if you wanted to do some kind of quotes or questions about how you celebrated prom, you got together with your date, if you had a prom playlist, what would be on it, and any other ideas that you guys might have, share those with either me or Tori so we can discuss that. After that is a virtual art show. Grace, you know that Art 5 is supposed to be putting together their own little sections, so I thought we could highlight each of those people. And then I have pictures from high school, and I will be going into school this week, and Mrs. Fosnaw laid out some things for me to take pictures of for the elementary. So I'll have some photos that we can put in about that for the virtual art show. The next section we've got is for the senior signs, and what that is for the Charles River sign, for the yard signs that are up at school and that kids now I think have at home, and then also for any adopt a senior stuff that we can find. Those are the three main things I was thinking would fit into those pages. So these are like the special things that the community is doing for the seniors. So we have a lot of pictures of the senior signs, both the yard signs and that Charles River sign. So there is a folder for that in OneDrive if anybody else has some to add. But I have a ton of them on there, so we should have plenty to work from for that. I do need to look a little bit more into the Adopt a Senior. I had a parent that contacted me yesterday about a group on Facebook, so I haven't had a chance to add it or look at it yet. But once I do, I will get some of that. So any specific ideas about the that senior section, we can add that. But you'll want to have some kind of story in there about how the community is coming together to support our seniors, and this is what they're doing, that kind of thing. I moved graduation here because, well, two reasons. First reason was because the fall pages were already done, and I didn't want to have to like move them all to have more space up at the front. And the second reason is because it's not our normal graduation. We don't even really know what's happening for that yet. So that's a page that I will take care of. I usually do graduation anyway, so I will make sure that that gets covered. Our next section is for organizations, and that space, I started emailing some teachers today, or some advisors of clubs and stuff, about how they think it would be best to cover their organization. But we did talk during this last Zoom meeting about maybe creating some like collage of pictures of each kid, if they all send selfies, or doing a picture of the Zoom meeting of those people, or if there are already group pictures from those clubs. So those are the things that I contacted teachers about. So those we'll find out. You guys should already know about the yearbook staff page, so check that video out if you haven't yet, specifying what I want you to do there. After that is the people divider, and let's see, my thought on the people divider could be a section for the hobbies and activities that people are doing now that maybe you have a little bit more time. So it could highlight people who are, I don't know what activities it might be. If I know that a lot of people are painting. I know it doesn't need to be all about art, but I know that is something that people are doing. Maybe there's people who are really practicing their instruments in band or whatever at home, or maybe we could have some of the sports in there that people are doing. So that's something that we'll post on social media, probably, like, what are you spending your time doing? I also thought it would be a good place to include a little section about like what people are binge watching. What are you watching on Netflix? Maybe even a section about like what good books are you reading? I assume that people read, but maybe not. We can check. If you guys wanted to try to include something about TikTok there, that would be a good place to fit that in. We had talked about that earlier this year, like maybe if people are doing funny TikToks now that we're all home, we can get screenshots of those. So if you have specific ideas for that people divider, Rachel is assigned to that. So you can either contact her or I. We'll get that figured out.